Welcome to the Attention Now podcast, where we dive deep with leaders, warriors, and game changers who live with purpose and make an impact. Today's guest absolutely embodies that spirit, Brian and Leah, better known as Velvet Rodeo. Brian and Leah, welcome to the show. I'm truly honored and excited to have you guys here today.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Let me start off with the introduction for you guys, and then we'll get rolling. I was first introduced to Brian and Leah through Steve Rice, who works with HBOT for Heroes, a nonprofit helping veterans battling PTSD. From that introduction, I currently learned that these two are not only incredible talent, but also patriots, entrepreneurs, and faithful Christians using their platform to make a difference. Velvet Rodeo is a powerhouse country rock band that's been making serious noise in the music scene. Let me get on here real quick. Bear with me 1 second. You could also catch them on a TV series called HeartStrings, airing on American Country Network and streaming on YouTube. A powerful behind-the-scenes look at their journey on and off stage. The show dives into their grind on the road, small-town roots, and the raw stories that fuel the music. It's honest, heartfelt, and inspiring. So let's please give them a welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Let's get started. Brian and Leah, can you introduce yourselves a little bit more to our audience, a little bit about your background?
Sure. Well, we're both from North Carolina. I'm from a small town on the coast called Swansboro.
Okay.
It's a beautiful town and just loved growing up there, and grew up going to church and started writing music when I was only 9 years old and
Nice.
writing all these songs. And then when I was 12, I picked up a guitar to start writing music to the songs I was writing, and then just kept picking up other instruments after that. Started singing in church, became the worship leader at my church at 19 years old. And not too long after, met this amazing man.
Yeah, and so I have a very similar background as well from Western North Carolina. Grew up singing gospel quartets and then moved down to the coast, met Leah through a series of, we were actually both cast in a musical production of Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so a few months after the show, we got together to see what we sounded like. And as they say, the rest is history.
Was it like love at first sight? Did you guys spot each other right away or no?
We didn't have any scenes together. We were both leads in the show, and the show is about two couples, but we were in opposite couples.
Okay.
It wasn't, I think, until that very last week, like that last show, we figured out that both of us sang out on our own. And it wasn't until months later that he called me and said, "Hey, you want to see what we sound like together?" And I think there was another show that we reconnected with. So that's where it kind of took off.
So no, not love at first sight necessarily, but
okay.
Yeah, at first song.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about how Velvet Rodeo, how'd you guys wind up coming up with the concept? How'd you guys get started?
Well, we started singing together at some small, I was doing kind of small restaurant bar type things around the coast. And so Leah joined me for a few of those shows, just kind of sat in. She would sing a few songs with me, and then we kind of got more serious about it. And we started thinking about names, and I asked her to help me with kind of thinking I didn't want us to be just Leah and Brian. And so I mentioned having something similar to like a leather and lace, but not leather and lace.
Something that's fit but complements each other. And I look over at his cowboy hat, and I literally look down, and I'm wearing velvet bell bottoms like I am right now. And the first thing out of my mouth was Velvet Rodeo.
Nice.
And that was 6 years ago. And so after playing around on the coast of North Carolina for about 2 years, we were lucky enough to be involved in a concert in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we were the only act there that was not living in Nashville. And they all loved what we were doing. They loved our music. And they said, if you really want to do this, you need to move to Nashville and be around more people like us. So we started really, heavily considering it. And we bought a 1964 GM bus and totally renovated it. It took us about a year.
Oh, wow.
And
right. We both worked full time. We were out singing on the weekends. Always had to make it back for because we were both leading worship at church.
Oh my goodness.
Hated the bus all that
Yeah,
year.
it was a busy year.
It was.
But we made it to Nashville. 2 flat tires later, we made it. And so we've been in Nashville now for a little over 4 years. And when we first moved there, we started singing downtown on Broadway a lot, and then a few other places around town. And then we decided to start trying to build kind of more of a grassroots fan base. And so we started going to Ohio and Indiana, and then back to North Carolina, of course, and South Carolina. So we've steadily kind of built this kind of network of different places that we perform now. And then this year, kind of pull things full circle a little bit. We moved in February 1st to Nashville, and that was 3 years ago.
Okay.
We signed our record deal on February 1st, 3 years to the day.
Wow.
Moving there, and then started the new TV series, HeartStrings. It premiered on July
3rd, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Man. You guys got a lot of stuff going on, which is really amazing because most people that are very successful are always juggling a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier, I watched your episodes of the HeartStrings, and you guys are always doing something. Leah's sewing or doing whatever the case. Brian's cooking, taking care of the bus, and it's not a small bus; it's a big bus, right?
it's a 45-foot tour bus,
and he drives it like a champ. I can't.
Leah, you haven't helped out yet? Drive a little bit.
I've driven it once in a straight line, in a very, very straight line.
Okay.
We're gonna try it again. We'll attempt it again soon.
Awesome. And will you guys pretty much go anywhere for performing?
I mean, yeah, within
the U.S.
It makes sense,
right.
From a financial standpoint for us.
Okay.
We've played out in California, but for those shows, they usually fly us out. We don't drive the bus all that way.
Right. Exactly. Like I mentioned, the video you guys created with kind of helping veterans, talking about veterans with PTSD. Right. What's the name of the video again?
So the song and the video is Still Under Fire.
Under Fire. Okay. It just came out about a month ago, right?
Yeah, something like that, and it's kind of taken a life of its own a bit.
Okay.
We actually are headed to Cherry Point next weekend.
Okay.
We're opening an event they're having there, Rocktoberfest.
Oh, nice.
And they've even talked to us about potentially coming back sometime in November. They're opening a new theater that they built on base, and to maybe open that for them. So they really were moved by the video and the song, and they kind of see what we were shooting for with doing this. And the inspiration for the song came from a tour in Durham of the HBOT, for Heroes.
Okay.
Barrack Chambers. Mm-hmm. And Steve was giving us the tour, and he mentioned soldier suicide. And our best friends, he's a retired Army Ranger and served in Afghanistan, and they're the ones that are in the video that kind of are the stars of the video. So, just being around him a lot and hearing his stories and all about the brothers that he lost in Afghanistan, but then has lost since coming back, it really inspired us to write this song.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. I love it, and I don't know if I'll be able to share it or not due to copyright, right? But
oh no, yeah, you can share it.
I can share it. Okay, perfect. Maybe we could even pull it up here on the during this podcast and play a little bit of it, because I think it's really powerful. We could play a little clip of it here, when we get down the road here a little bit more. So you guys are traveling. So you've been traveling how long now? 3 years?
So yeah, we've been traveling just over 2 years. We spent the first year and a half playing on Broadway in Nashville.
Okay, gotcha. So I've been, like I said, I was fortunate to watch the show. But for our audience, what's some of the toughest challenges that you guys have found on being on the road right now?
I was going to let you know what her take is.
We don't want to jinx it, the bus has done really well, but every now and then there'll be a problem that pops up that, we have to figure out. And when I say we, it's mostly Brian, although I'm always on Google trying to figure out how we can best fix the situation. I think eating healthy
Okay.
has kind of been a challenge, but we've got it down. We finally figured it out, especially with this newer bus we're traveling on now that has a full kitchen versus our old bus. And so we eat pretty healthy now. I think we do really well with that. I'm trying to think other challenges. We're always traveling, so it's hard to make those, I think, important dates maybe back home with your family,
Okay.
events and things like that. Like you try to make as much time as you can for those special moments and those special times, but that a lot of times we're on the road and we can't help it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to sacrifice sometimes when you're doing stuff, right? So, that's part of being able to get ahead and move ahead and give something back to the fans. Yeah. One of your episodes that cracked me up was when you guys were with the Bigfoot, right?
Oh God.
And Brian was making the dessert. I'm not going to say it because I know Leah loved the name of that dessert, but you guys got to watch it. It was awesome. So it's
Yeah. And it was so funny because afterwards Leah said everybody's going to think that you were like drinking because such a long weekend.
It was a long weekend. It was late in the day, and I think you just hit that moment where you're just kind of goofy and you laugh at everything.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell me the name of the cookies before we started filming, so it was just like an honest reaction, and I'm like, "What are we making?"
By the way, just for the record, I didn't think you were drinking. I thought you were just having a good time. So it came out great.
Was not. I had not had a thing to drink. It was just I think I had reached that point of just everything was I was tired and everything was just kind of funny. So we have a good time doing the show. And
it made me laugh, so that was great. So thank you. I think it'll make the audience laugh as well. Can you share some of the most impactful encounter that you've had with a fan while you've been on the road?
Oh wow.
I think well for me watching because a lot of young kids and especially young girls love Leah. Like they look at her on stage and she's like this force to be reckoned with on stage, and she's always dressed amazingly, and these little girls really look up to her. But I think from my perspective, and you may have a different answer, but my perspective, it's really been Leah wrote a song. We wrote it in Alabama on our songwriters retreat, and it's called High Heel on the Pedal.
Okay.
And it's really about Leah had a history of domestic violence, unfortunately, and she's come so far, like personality wise, and being able to blossom and become the person that you see today. But this song was another impactful song that when we would sing it, especially on Broadway, we would have 2 or 3 ladies come up every time that we would sing the song and talk to Leah about the situation they had been in before.
Right. I mean, a lot of times they would just be like crying just
oh my gosh
during the show and come up to me afterwards, and they would tell me how many years that they were in that situation, and they'd say, how many years was it for you? And I said, it was this many. And, it's just one of those songs. And the same thing with the veteran song. If more of us spoke out about it and raised awareness, people would feel so alone or lost in that situation.
Yeah, I love that you're out there sharing, right? Like you mentioned, none of us have a perfect life, right? And it's great to share it so people know that they're not the only ones struggling, right? So I think that's incredible that you're able to do that, and I think that's an awesome answer. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and for one more, we have a song, and we were doing a show, and this guy comes up, and he had lost his wife to drug addiction.
Okay.
And there's a song, and one of the lines in the song, it's called "I'm so far down your well, I can't reach the bottom shelf." And for me, it was just a play on words about bar, low, bottom shelf liquor, and being in this state of and he came to me and he's like, when I heard that line, it reminded me of my wife. He said when we found, and she obviously had a lifelong problem with addiction to drugs. And when they found her, she was physically reaching up to a shelf, a bottom shelf that had more drugs.
Oh man.
And so you just never know. I think that's the beautiful thing about
Right.
music is that, you write music, but then people interpret that music how it's affecting them at that moment.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much music could touch someone, right? Or bring back memories. And you guys have an incredible sound. So I really love your music. So let me see if I can share that video here real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can make sure I see all these buttons here. But let me share the video that we were talking about with the PTSD. I think it might be a good time for that. Let's share and have it here. Play a small clip of this. All right. Let me start at the beginning. Yeah, it is. Here we go. Can you guys see that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soaked in sweat, I'm so damn tired of holding on. He can't let go, he can't forget. God only knows what he's lost. I can't do this alone. I need to be strong. You're the only one that understands this battle raging in my head tonight. And you and me, no one can see them, but you and me, and we're both in this fight. Together we can win this war. There's so much more worth fighting for, but I'm so damn tired. Back at home and still on the fire. When I close my eyes, all I see are the ones who died instead of me. Hold out to me and try to breathe. I'm begging you, please don't ever leave. The only one that understands is battle raging in my head tonight. An enemy who no one can see, you and me, and we both in this fight. Yeah, when there's more, there's so much more worth fighting for, but I'm so glad.
Oh, still playing?
Yeah.
Can you guys still hear it?
Yeah, we're good now. Thanks.
Okay. All right. It's half of the song. Let me give me 1 second here. That's only half of the video, guys. Powerful video. I truly love it. I'm gonna be sharing it with a lot of people. Still Under Fire is the name of the song in the video, so make sure you guys catch the rest of it. But that's just a small sample what powerful voices these two have and powerful impact they're trying to make throughout the community, which is awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
What was the moment that truly shaped you guys on your perspective of life and leadership? How did you was that through church, through family? How did that come about?
I mean, I think for me, it was probably mostly church.
Church, yeah.
Yeah, being put in leadership roles at an early age, and learning to learning how to be a leader, I guess. I think that was an important thing, and I think some family too. Like I grew up having to work really hard, so I learned a lot of valuable lessons doing that. I didn't do the military thing. That's one of my regrets in life is not doing the military side of things. My dad was he was in the Army in Vietnam, and so that was my vision of what the military looked like, and I suppose that kind of scared me away from it. But
Okay.
yeah, I really wish I would have. I wish I would have done that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what you get. I think it's all about serving, right? That's what we're here for on this world. In this world, is to serve, right? And you guys are currently serving right now. So,
Yeah.
so I think that's something that's ongoing, and it could be for a long period of time. Military is only for some people just stay in, 3 years, 6 years, 20 years. But
Right.
this could be a lifetime that you're serving and giving back, right? So,
Yeah.
I think something that I don't even have on my notes, but something that just came to mind is something that helps a lot of veterans as well with PTSD, and whether they're first responders and or whatever the case is, a lot of other people or just people in general, is God, right? God
Right.
is the one that is going to actually be able to sustain you, give you the light, give you the direction that you need to follow. And if you're able to focus on Him versus whatever is going on in your life, that'll make a big difference. So that just came to mind when you said God. So thank you. Uh,
Absolutely.
what was the biggest lesson you learned from traveling all over the U.S. so far?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been, I think you see, when you watch TV, and you can see, obviously, we don't watch a lot of TV, but we see stuff online, and you have like exaggeration to the left and exaggeration to the right. But as you travel, you really see that I think most people are really just in the middle, and people have kind of this very similar thoughts and ideas. And I think traveling and getting to meet fans and doing country music, and you get to meet kind of really the salt of the earth, blue collar, just everyday people, right? And that's what I think we see more than anything else, is that the country is way more united than I think what's
Absolutely.
the story, the line that sometimes is told. And no matter what color you are, or race you are, or religion you are, or, it's just, I think we have learned that is, and my dad once said, the world's just full of people,
Right.
and we're all just people. And I think that's been to me, like, been really one of the coolest things about this song is, again, we wrote it with one idea in mind, with PTSD for military people and veterans. But what's happened is now, we just yet last night at the rodeo had a police officer, a sheriff's deputy, come up and say, I've been dealing with PTSD. I deal with it every day. My wife has to deal with it. And he goes, he's like, I heard you sing the song last night, or when we were on stage. And he had already looked it up on our website. He had listened to it, shared it with his wife. So I think people are going through very similar things.
Right.
And sometimes we get very polarized in, well, we have to think this way or that way, but really everybody's just human, and we're all kind of trying to figure things out, life out at the same time. And I think that's been my biggest lesson learned on the road, is the exposure to more people, and just reaching them through music. So
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I think the media uses the try to separate us on purpose because it's more for ratings, right? So it's like, hey, let's see how bad we can make have these, how bad can I make these people look or these people look, whether it's right, left, or color,
right.
whatever the case is.
Right. Everyone loves to have a team to root for, right?
Right,
But
exactly. Yeah.
we should be all on the same team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're under God's team, which is what I love. So that's perfect. Leah, how did you develop your mindset to change your dreams and goals?
Ooh, I mean, it was scary, and but I will say it was a lot of direction from God. I was leading worship at church before we made the decision to just up and leave to Nashville and chase a dream. And like Brian said earlier, we played that show where we were the only artists not from Nashville, and that was just one door that God opened to meeting all these amazing people who encouraged us. And then we said, well, let's be realistic. Let's continue to pray about this. And, we would need a place. We would need a bus. We started praying about a bus, and literally a bus showed up like from a block away from where we were living
Oh,
at that
no way.
Carolina. And it didn't have a for sale sign on it, but we stopped and talked to the owner one day, and he had tried to sell it in the past, and everyone was scared of it because it was 1964. bus, but that's the project that we ended up taking on. And it was just all these signs, all these doors that God kept opening. And I actually felt, God was like kind of pushing us with his boot a little bit to get us out to Nashville. We're like, all right, we're listening now. And so
That's
that
awesome.
that helped make that leap a lot.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, like I said, I watched your TV series. I would have never been able to tell your bus is that old because it looks so nice and clean, and outside looks great. Which is amazing.
It's the newer bus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
we've
new one.
upgraded in the
Oh,
past
that
year.
is a newer bus. Okay, I was gonna say, man, that bus looks good for 1964.
Two, you get to see the old, but we give like a little short tour of the old bus.
Oh yeah, I did. I remember seeing that. Yeah. So how did you guys wind up getting the new one? Did you buy that then?
Yeah, so well, we're buying so,
Right.
in the process. But yeah,
Yeah.
we've had it now for about 7-8 months now.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice. Awesome. And what year is that one?
it's a 97.
97. Okay.
It's still older, but yeah. Unfortunately, Prevo tour buses, a new one is about $3 million. So
Oh my God. And you're in the bus right now, right?
what's that?
You're in the bus right now?
Yes.
We are, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's
But
perfect.
unfortunately, that's way out of our budget. So we found this 97 and it only had 130 some thousand miles on it. And so we thought that we could really make it work for us. And we're just trying to see if we can make everything happen. It's
Awesome. Well, I see that you guys are going to be a pretty huge artist. I could just tell by your music, by your personalities, what you're doing. So I think you'll be able to afford anything you need, God willing, down the road. So that's awesome. What keeps you moving forward and motivated every day?
well,
Like,
Leah just told me the other day because we were like stressed. It was a little stressful situation, and we were trying
Okay.
to get through it. And
Yeah.
she looked at me and she's like, we're in the part where most people quit, right?
Right. My favorite quote, I read it earlier this year somewhere, and it's just been kind of my motto. And it's not impossible. You're just at the point where most people quit,
Nice.
give up. But the thing that motivates us, I think, number one, are the fans. Like, they're always there for us. They're listening to the music and relating to the music. And, when we go do these shows, they're singing those words back to us. And there's no greater feeling in the world. So that's a huge motivator. And just Brian and I both grew up with a huge love for country music. And to be able to be a part of that in some way. Last year, we were nominated for Country Music Duo of the Year
Oh,
at the
wow.
for the Josie Awards, and it was our first time being nominated, and we actually ended up winning that night. And I mean, moments like that, it's amazing to look at and think we're doing it. We're a part, maybe a small part, but we're a part of country music.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's always incredible when I go watch a band or something. You see some people just like their personality, their face changes, and they get so excited and happy, right, to hear the songs that they love. So I'm sure you guys watching people, just light up makes a difference for you guys as well.
Well, the one of the great things about country music is it's always traditionally been very faith based. Even though there are songs, and we have songs about drinking in a bar, and we have new songs that aren't out yet that are all about we're all just people, and I think being in country music and then doing also having the roots in gospel Christian music, it's all about storytelling and it's all about being relatable. And like Leah said, you're trying to reach that audience and the fan base. And that's really what kind of keeps us going too. So,
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to separate people if they're drinking or whatever, right? So, for like myself personally, I don't drink anymore, but I did back in the day, right? So,
sure.
if you're,
Well,
if you're,
I think we talked to one of our friends about, because we were in the middle of trying to write a song, and he's like, sometimes, and we both grew up in church, and I think a lot of times people have a negative connotation of church because, there's judgment in church, and sometimes it doesn't feel like there's judgment in a bar. And that was
Right.
he's a pastor, and so we were talking to him about that, and he was like, Brian, church is just full of people too. So he's like, I think if you just write about the truth, then everything else kind of works itself out.
Everything else falls into place. Yeah.
It does. And
Yeah.
songs like Still Under Fire, like that to us is kind of just a gift, like that certainly didn't come from us. We wrote that song on the way to Ohio. We were driving the bus up to Ohio for a show, and I was very emotional driving the bus. And fortunately we're just on Interstate 77 with not a lot going on, but we were basically going back and forth writing that song, and it was like the words just kind of came out.
That's awesome. That's great. Now, do you guys both write? Do you guys both collaborate? I know that you guys talked a little bit about that on the show. How does that work?
We rarely disagree about anything.
Okay.
And when he says disagree, he means argue. Like the only that we ever fight is when we songwrite together.
Okay.
It's such a passionate thing for both of us, and you get married to an idea or a thought, and then when the other person doesn't like it, then you're like, oh, but you don't like me. That's kind of the thought process.
It's hard not to take it personally, or separate those feelings. And so there are times where I'll have an idea that hits me, and maybe Brian's not around, and I'll write a whole song, or he'll do the same. He'll write a whole song, and then we're either like, oh, that's an amazing song, let's record it, or we're like, I love the idea, but maybe it could be better, let's make it better together. And so I mean, the whole spectrum of ways to write, we've done it together, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like, don't make it personal, it's only business, right?
Best song that it can be.
It's tough to set the business side, and there's other facets of our life that are like that too. We try to really separate the business, but we're together 24/7, so it's difficult because we're both working towards this goal and this dream from a business standpoint, but then we have to keep in mind that we also have a relationship too, and so they kind of have blended into one, which can be good and bad. But we try to really pause and make sure that we're not, being too business, or we're not being too relational.
Right.
Either.
But there is a really like a satisfactory feeling about being an effective team and having that partner that you not only love, but you're a great business partner with as well. Because, if something happens with the bus, he's working on the bus, or I'm writing a song, or I'm working on social media, or he's redesigning our website. I mean, both of our skill sets come so well into play with each other. Mm-hmm. So I do feel like we're a very effective team.
Yeah, I think you guys have a great relationship, and you complement each other for a lot of stuff, right? But you're always going to have some snags, right? None of us are perfect, unfortunately. So, but and so you do websites as well, Brian? That's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
So my background is design, and so
is it really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, talk about like a God thing like that. I really feel like my entire previous career was leading up to the music business. So yeah, and Velvet Rodeo.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, I got your website in the background here. It looks really good. So I like it.
He's amazing.
Go ahead, Lee. I'm sorry.
I said he's amazing. No.
Yeah, he does a lot. It's like, man, I wish. It's like Brian could do a lot of stuff, but he put those horns on the bus and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is pretty cool. So it's like he could do anything. It's amazing.
I'll tell everybody, when you grow up poor, you have to figure out how to learn how to do things.
He cooks. What the heck?
I know. He's the whole package.
Holy moly, man! Right there is like, you got me beat right there by a lot. It's like, man, I'm not a big cook, but it's awesome. I think I'm gonna watch more of the show to learn how to, which will be pretty cool. So we talked a lot about God keeping you grounded. What do you guys do daily to make sure you have God in your life to keep you grounded?
So I think we both share a lot of things as far as like the passion and what we're trying to do, and the whole picture of where we are. I think that one of the things that we've lost a little bit is like not having like that home church thing.
Yes. Yep.
That's been very difficult because we don't really. There's just no way. When we're in Nashville, it's very tough because we have a few churches that are close by, but they're not the necessarily a church that we grew up with, and
Okay.
it's just different.
Yeah.
And so then when we're on the road, it's kind of difficult to find.
I will say recently we did have a treat during the Bigfoot Festival. You said you saw that episode.
Yes.
We meant to film it, but just didn't end up happening. But there at the festival, there was this cute little church, and Brian and I had seen it earlier in the day before the show. And then after our performance, someone came up to us and said, "Hey, we're having a church service in the morning. We would love for y'all to be there. And if y'all don't mind, we'd love to have y'all lead the worship service."
Oh, wow.
I said, "We would absolutely love to." I said,
That's-
"I don't know, but we used to lead worship. And so it would be amazing. We'd be honored." And so we just had the best little worship service in that little church at the Bigfoot Festival. And it was amazing.
Man, that would have been great if you guys would have been able to film. That would have been nice to see. Yeah, but you know what? I think it's even if you're not going to church every day or every week, right? I think there's still things you could do daily, right? Read the Bible, listen to Christian music, watch some Christian TV, and and I think that helps out a lot. Like we were talking about earlier, the media is always giving us garbage, right?
Yes.
Right.
In my opinion. So I think I tell my family, it's like, hey, we need to surround ourselves with the word more every day, because if we don't, we're just being attacked. So I think that I think that's kind of like what I do. So
Yeah.
so succeeding, let's say that somebody's out there trying to succeed, not sure what direction they want to take. What would you guys tell those guys? Like, how do I succeed if I don't know what I want to do?
In the music business or just in general?
Actually, both.
I would say find whatever you're passionate at, the gifts that gave you, like follow that. And we actually had some great advice after we first moved to Nashville from Jelly Roll himself. He took the time to listen to our story, and
Oh my gosh. Okay.
very similar question. And ours pertained to music, but you can apply this to everything. He said to us, make the music that you love, or, do the thing that you
Right.
love, passionate about. Everything else will fall in line. Those people will fall in line. They will hear the music. They'll support you. Or, if it's cooking, they'll come, they'll eat the food, whatever your passion is, follow that, because you can fail at anything. You can fail at something that you're not happy doing. Why not do the thing that you enjoy and possibly succeed?
Yeah, I totally agree. That once I've been doing this podcast about a year and 4 months, and I'm having a blast doing it, right? I love it. Before that, sold technology for many years to large companies, and I just got burned out on it. It's like, hey, you know what? The passion wasn't there anymore, so I had to find something else. And like I mentioned early, serving and giving has always been in my heart. So that's why I love having people like you guys on that are serving and giving as well, and sharing with others. And I think if you're able to find, like Leah said, find something that you love and make that work, just like Brian and Leah are doing, it changes your life. So you guys are definitely on the right track. So make sure you guys keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you.
What's one part of your story that you guys have never talked about that you might be able to share today?
I feel like we're pretty open, especially with the TV show. Like,
Right.
we don't really hide,
Trying to think of something maybe we don't mention enough. One of our biggest goals, being in Nashville and just, being part of this country music industry, we would love to make our Grand Ole Opry debut.
Okay.
And something that we're working towards, and maybe a lot of times people don't see how much work goes into that, or how hard we're trying to make that happen. And we don't talk about it, I think, a whole lot, but
Yeah.
that's something that would mean the world to us.
And how hard is it to get in there?
It's very difficult.
Really?
Well, I'll share with you. so we do these things in Nashville. They're called writers rounds, and it's basically several people, usually four artists on stage just with a guitar, and you just take turns singing your original content, right?
Okay.
So, and usually you'll do 3 or 4 rounds, and then they'll bring a whole new group up. So if you're ever in Nashville, you go to Midtown. They do that a lot there.
Right.
And
these don't pay anything.
Right.
All these artists are doing it for free.
And we do a lot of those, or we have done a lot of those with Garth Brooks' daughter.
Okay.
Garth is obviously a member of the Opry and a big part of the Opry, and his daughter has not made her Opry debut yet.
Oh my gosh! Holy cow!
So I hope that's not a long answer, but that's a great.
No, like that kind of gives me a better idea how what a challenge it is, right? And you have to be invited, obviously, right?
Invited. I mean, we don't know really the answer to it.
We've heard sometimes it's just knowing the right person or the right person hearing the right podcast. You never know.
Yeah, that's true, right? Or hearing the right song or watching the right video. So I mean,
and it is like, you can work hard and have some success, but I think it really is like when you hit one of those milestone moments, I think that's when the Opry really kind of looks at you. And we feel like we've hit a couple of those, but maybe, who knows, maybe Still Under Fire could be that milestone moment that gets us on that stage. And like Leah said, it's just it's not the end all be all. The Opry's not, it's just
right.
It's such a part of country music history, and we just want to be a part of country music history. And we feel like that would be that moment where we can say we truly are a part of country music history.
Right.
Well, I think it's a big goal, right? So, which is awesome. So, I think it's a great goal to have, right? And like you said, anything can happen from one day to the next, and God can make anything happen as well, which is also a great thing. Do they play every month, every week? How many shows do they have there?
Every night.
Every night.
Every night.
No way! Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. So if you've never been, you should definitely go. It's a very unique experience.
Okay.
The Ryman is downtown on Broadway, just off Broadway in Nashville, and that was it started out as a church, and then the church building was kind of abandoned, and then that's when it turned into the Grand Ole Opry, and then in 1974 they moved from that old church downtown to the current building that they're in, and still's there.
Okay.
And so it's you feel like you're in a church still, because just the history and everything that's happened at the Opry. And they, for years, Ernest Tubb, which I don't know if you're familiar with country music, but Ernest Tubb was kind of considered one of the fathers of country music.
Okay.
And he would start he did a thing, it was called the Midnight Jamboree. And after the Opry was done, all the artists would come over to the Troubadour, and they would do like an after show, which was also broadcast out on the radio. And Leah and I had the opportunity 2 years ago to do the very last Midnight Jamboree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Amazing.
So
they have a circle on that stage, just like the Opry does. And just the list of names of people who have stood on that circle: Elvis, Patsy Cline, Ernest Tubb himself, of course.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's incredible. Well, you guys have my vote, so not that it means anything, but I'd put you guys in there for sure. Yeah, I was down in Pigeon Forge a couple of years ago, and I thought about going to Nashville, but I didn't. But I'm gonna put that on my list to go out there and check it out, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, Broadway's probably good. You want to see it. It's kind of like going to Vegas. You want to see it one time.
Right.
Spend a day. I would suggest during the day probably, because it's not as crazy. And you can just walk around and see all the bars and all the stages. And, there's roughly 60 bars.
Wow.
I don't know if accurate or not, but somewhere in that neighborhood. And they each have at least 2, if not 3 floors of music going on at the same time.
Holy cow.
So yes. It's a lot of music, but then I would spend a lot of time. We live in Music Valley, and there again, if you watch episode number 2 of HeartStrings, it's all about our Nashville experience and where we live,
right. And our favorite places.
And our favorite places to go. So, but I would do that. I would do Midtown. I would do the writers' rounds in Midtown, and there's so much more to Nashville than Broadway, but a lot of people just come to Broadway, of course.
Got it. And as artists, how do you guys pick and choose where to perform, right? Because I'm sure you guys get invited to some of these bars and all these other places, right? How do you guys just whatever is going to fit into your schedule, basically?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. We've had to unfortunately turn down some really cool writers rounds this summer. We really wanted to be a part of.
Okay.
When you're on the road, like you said, there are sacrifices and things you have to give up while you're traveling.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. And if you guys were 20 years old, knowing what you know now, would you guys take the same path, or what would you guys do?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything you would have changed about it? Knowing what you know now, like starting from 20?
I mean, for me, one of my passions is playing guitar.
Okay.
And I wish I would have started earlier playing, like really playing more. I mean, I didn't really start playing until I was a little older. And so I wish I would have really kind of focused on doing that when I was 8 years old,
Right.
Okay.
I think I would have taken knowing what I know now, I would have taken my songwriting way more seriously. Because I only wrote when the mood hit me, and which I wrote pretty much every day, but I wish I had done more, or if I could have known that one day I would have a song on the radio, how much harder would I have worked at 20 years old?
Yeah, I'm sure your parents and family are really proud of you guys. And I can't believe you started writing when you were 8, right? You said?
Yep.
That's amazing. How about you, Brian? When did you start writing?
So I've written a couple of songs and when I was younger, but never really done anything very serious with it until we started singing together as Velvet Rodeo.
Wow, that's amazing. Holy cow.
But like I said, I've got a very artistic background, so I enjoy creative writing, and and we've both done theater, so we're both very creative in general. So I think that's helped.
Awesome. That's great. What's the best piece of advice a mentor has ever given you guys about either leadership or business?
I think that, Leah mentioned Jelly Roll. I think that's a pretty cool piece of advice. My dad's second, third cousin, something like that, is Dale McCurry, which you may not know or be familiar with Dale McCurry, but he's probably one of the most famous bluegrass guys alive. And Dale's in his 80s now, and he talked to us, sent us a video, and we asked him a similar question of, what would you tell yourself when you were our age doing what we're doing? And he had a very similar answer as far as write the music that you enjoy writing.
Okay.
Sing the music you enjoy singing, and the fans will come.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. I think it's not work when it's something that you love, right? Which is incredible.
I think if you're trying to be or emulate someone else, whether it's in business or if you're trying to be an artist or a painter or whatever it is, athlete, like if you're trying to be LeBron James, but you're not LeBron James, you have to be the best person that you could be.
Right.
And like Leah, to take the talents that God gave you and use those fruits to make up like that. That's kind of the whole purpose. And sometimes I think that's difficult for people to find. And, we're not 20 anymore. So I feel like maybe that was us. We spent a lot of time not doing what we really loved until we made the decision to move to Nashville.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. Just recently somebody was asking me, it's like, hey, Dave, I want to maybe start a podcast, but is the podcast market saturated? I go, no, you're going to find your niche. You're going to find people that love you. You're going to find people that follow you. So, same thing that you were saying earlier, just recommend them, hey, do what you love and you'll find your audience, which is great.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at any given point, I've heard this number thrown out that there's 10,000 artists in Nashville.
Wow.
And so, but if you think about that, you would never, never, play against those odds of trying to make it.
And what is the number of songs uploaded to Spotify every
day?
day?
It's like 20,000.
Wow. Yeah, definitely a lot more competition nowadays, right? I think I mentioned to you guys before that I interviewed Larry Wilcox from Chips, right? And he was so famous, right? But back then there was only like 4 or 5 channels, right?
Right.
The selection was so small, but now it's like everywhere. You can find anything anywhere, right? So, which is pretty good. So,
it's bad because you don't have to go through the gatekeepers now that you used to have to go through to be able to have the opportunity to do something that we're doing.
Right. Exactly. Right.
You have direct distribution to millions of people, but the struggle's still there to get those for those millions of people to find out who you are.
Right.
So
right, yeah, you got to make sure and you guys definitely make an impact as people are finding out about you, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
How did you guys land a TV show? How did that happen?
So that was through the label as well. They're kind of, it's 2 entities, but they're the same.
Okay.
They started the new network a couple of years ago, and that was a big part of the reasoning for us to sign with their label was
got it.
With the TV, opportunity and the exposure, and they're pushing out to just over 20 million homes right now. So
wow, and people can watch it on the network and YouTube and where else? Anywhere else?
That's it. It was American Country Network. You can download the app on your smart TV. Just search for ACN. And you'll see the red guitar pick on there, and you can watch that. That's on demand, and we're on every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then a week later, the episodes get pushed up to YouTube, and you can look up American Country Network on YouTube or Velvet Rodeo, either one, and you'll find HeartStrings there.
Like I said, I love the show, so I'm going to keep watching it. So. Yeah, I think it's great. It must be interesting having cameras following you around everywhere, right? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, we've gotten better. You probably see the progression as you're watching the episodes, getting a little more comfortable just being ourselves in front of the cameras.
Did it feel strange at first?
At first, we almost felt like, they tell you not to script it, but in your head, you can't help but kind of play.
Right.
So we're definitely not doing that. I don't do it anymore. I don't think it's just having a conversation with a camera.
Awesome. Love it. What's the goals for, I think you already told me one of the goals for Velvet Rodeo. What's some of the other goals that you guys are looking to achieve, like big picture 5 years from now?
I think 5 years from now, we'd love to be on the road, maybe with a bigger artist, like doing a show with them, opening for them, or eventually headlining our own major tour would be amazing. Maybe a European tour. Neither of us have been to Europe, so.
Oh, that would be awesome. What's one of your top favorite artists that you would like to be attached to?
It's a great question. There's so many.
We got to put it out there, right? For them to hear you guys.
I actually love I love Garth Brooks because I think the entertainment, like he's such an entertainer, and he puts every single thing into that. But who do I think that we would be amazing to open for? I think similarity wise in like our style, Lainey Wilson I think we would be amazing to open for her because of the style similarities.
Okay.
We've got a touch of kind of that Western 90s kind of sound to our stuff, and I think she also has that.
That's a good answer. We love some Eric Church.
Oh yeah,
if he was
hometown guy, Eric Church. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it would actually be fun to tour with Brooks and Dunn. I think it would be two
duos.
music duos.
And obviously, you mentioned Garth Brooks' daughter. Have you met Garth Brooks in person yet?
We have not.
No.
We have not. Oh, that's. I'm not typically like a fan boy kind of thing. Like I don't like get speechless and all that good stuff.
Right.
But with him, that
But
might
I
happen.
would, yeah, I would definitely
Yeah,
get.
I will say definitely look up her music. Her name is Allie Colleen,
Okay.
and she has some major songwriting skills, and I love her sound as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I didn't know if you, like with Garth Brooks' daughter, maybe he showed up to one of her events or something like that. It's like, hey, here's my dad, right? It's like,
No, not
yeah.
yet.
And how about the other artists? Have you met any of those that we
Yeah,
talked about?
quite a
Cody
few.
Jinks. When we met Jelly Roll, we actually got to
Where
perform
did you
with
meet Jelly? Where did you meet Jelly Roll?
CMA Fest. It was our first CMA Fest. We were performing it after our
Okay.
Nashville. He was walking to his larger stage, and we were on this small stage on the backside of Bridgestone Arena. And we saw him walking by, and Brian said, "Hey, come on up here and take a picture with us." And then he's like, "No, come sing a song with us." And
Oh,
he had
nice. Good job, Bry.
many stairs to get to us. But when he got there, he gave me the biggest hug.
Oh, wow.
Just amazing. And we played his song Sunday morning.
Mm.
And after we played the song, we just kind of stopped the show and took a minute and told him our story and asked for his advice. And that's when he told us all that. And it was amazing. I'll never forget that.
He's
And
just as genuine in person as he is when you see him on TV. Like he's that person.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Yeah. It's like you said earlier, people are people, right? Yeah. They all just want to
I
help
know
and love,
it.
help and love and help each other, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool. I
and
love that.
that's one of the big struggles with this business is a lot of times, you know, I think artists get the advice to be less accessible, and we always struggle with that, like how much should we be accessible, and if we're less accessible, will people think that we're a bigger deal than we really are? And there's always that struggle and that
but we don't
fight,
want to
but
change who we are.
right.
Right. Exactly. I was going to say, you just the advice, like, hey, follow what you love. You got to do what you love with people, right?
And this is who we are. So so we're super available, and our access is pretty much open, and that's why we wanted to do the TV show, because we wanted people to see. And what we're doing is very unusual in the music business, in the country music business, because there's not that many duos that are actually in a relationship together.
Okay, got it. Yeah. I think the dual is what that's what really makes an impact on me for the sound, right?
Mhm.
Uh, because both you guys combined is great. And I'm sure you guys would do great alone, but I think the combination really makes it work.
Well, we've always said we would never want to do this alone.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's your identity, both you guys, so I think that's awesome. So you said you would travel anywhere, even Europe, right? So if people want to book you, how do they find you guys?
Velvetrodeo.com.
Okay.
On everything there. And
Right.
and speaking of that, you're talking about putting things out there.
Yeah.
I would love to do a USO tour. I
Oh,
think
that would be awesome.
like
Yes.
the talk about
How amazing would
such an
that be?
honor. That would be the biggest honor ever, to be able to go and perform for our military who's overseas or wherever they are, and just be able to go and do that. And that would be the biggest honor ever.
That'd be great. Yeah. I think I mentioned to you, a friend of mine, Joe Contafio, did some entertainment in Iraq when the wars were going on over there. So I'll connect you guys, see if there's any kind of synergy there for that down the road. So like I said, we got to help each other out, which is great.
Sure.
All right, we're pretty much wrapped up. Anything else? I'm going to ask you a couple other questions. Anything else? Last things you guys want to mention? Oh, actually, you guys have barbecue sauce as well that came out, right?
We're doing everything.
Man, okay. I'm telling you, Brian, I'm jealous, brother.
I tell you,
Tell us about your barbecue sauce.
yeah, it's called spicy honey bourbon barbecue sauce.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how many of your viewers know very much about North Carolina, but Western North Carolina has always traditionally been like more of a ketchup based sauce, so like a red sauce.
Okay.
Eastern North Carolina is 100% vinegar based. So it's a lighter, like more pork, that type thing. And so this is a really great blend of the two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there's a lot of mustard in it, so it almost pulls in a little bit of the South Carolina that they're traditionally more mustard based sauce. So it's been really good. A really good friend of ours. He's become a great friend of ours. Uh, his name is Carl Lewis, and he created the sauce. And they also created. There was a syndicated morning show called John Boy and Billy in the South.
Okay.
And they were around for about 35 years. And he created a John Boy and Billy grilling sauce, which is in a ton of grocery stores in the Southeast. And so he created their sauce. And then when he met us, he had a recipe that he had never used for them. And he asked if he could create one for us. So,
oh, wow. That's awesome. And that people could order that on your website as well?
and yeah, you can find it on our website.
Okay. And then you guys are on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Everywhere.
All the places.
Yep.
X. X, TV, internet, everywhere. I love it. All right, perfect. And hang on one second. What's one last message you want to leave for our audience before we start wrapping up?
I think, for me, it's people only typically get to see the highlight reels of, especially with social media now.
Right.
They only get to see the highlight reels of our lives or anybody's life, really, but specifically with us. And they see that we have a tour bus, and they see that we're playing all these fun big stages, and
we're wearing the outfits with the sparkles and the glitter.
But I think if we were to say one message to our fans and people that aren't fans yet but like country music, is that without fans we would not exist.
Right.
And life is always a struggle, no matter where you are in it. Mm-hmm. And people like our fans that's what gets us through, I think. And for me, I think that's like a big message from a Velvet Rodeo standpoint.
Right. I think sometimes the fans don't realize how important or what an impact they have on us. Like, we see every comment, every like that they put on there, and maybe it was just a quick click for them, or they don't think that we're going to read the comment. But I mean, we see every single one, and it means so much to us. And I do my best to try to respond to everybody as much as I can. But it does mean the world to us that we've got those cheerleaders out there rooting for us and cheering us on.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. I love guys. I love what you guys are doing. I love you both as well. Thank you so much for being on here. It's been an honor to have you on here. Thank you for your music, your patriotism, and your example to set for others with your faith and drive.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
And for everyone tuning in, don't forget to share, follow, and subscribe. These stories matter. These lessons can change lives. Stay focused, stay winning. God bless you, and thank you for listening and following.